On our second day in Maui, our primary goal was to go to the Kīpahulu area of Haleakalā National Park. In this, we were hoping to hike the Pīpīwai trail up to Waimoku Falls, as well as see Oheo Gulch, also known as the Seven Sacred Pools. Along the way, we would see other waterfalls and coastal regions. We would be traveling the Pailani Highway, Route 31, along the southern coast of Maui. This road offered dramatic views of both Haleakalā and the southern coast of Maui. We then made our way to the Aston Maui Hill Resort in Kīpahulu, which we would use as a base for the rest of our visit to Maui. We had an early start to the day and hoped to start it with a visit to Kīpahulu Beach, also known as Red Sand Beach. Unfortunately, the gate to the beach was locked and wouldn't open for another 2 hours. We instead went to the Hana Bay Beach Park, where there was purported to be another secluded red sand beach. Here is the pier located in Hana Bay Beach Park. Near the pier is a rock which has a plaque embedded in it. I wasn't able to get out to see what it said, but it might be in memorial to the crew of the lost Sarah Joe boat. We went on the Hana Bay cliff path to try and get to the small red sand beach. Unfortunately, there had been recent collapses along the trail, and a lot of the trail is washed out. This is as far as we could get. I'm not sure if the beach is underwater or if it's just beyond this cove. Our next stop was Koki Beach. Koki Beach is a mixture of black sand, white sand from pulverized coral, as well as red sand from the nearby cinder cone. Swimming is not recommended here due to the lack of lifeguards as well as exposure to riptides and high winds. The cinder cone rising above the beach is called Ka'iwi o Pele, meaning bones of Pele. According to Hawaiian legend, Koki Beach is where the volcano goddess Pele fought her final battle against her older sister, Namakaukahai, the goddess of the ocean. Pele's bones were stacked along the Koki shoreline and her spirit traveled to Kilauea on the Big Island. The Cinder Cone Hill and adjacent land are currently owned by Oprah Winfrey.
And here you can see off in the distance there's a sea arch. It's not really a good path to get there, so this is where we have to take the pictures.
From Koki Beach, you can see the Leho'ula Sea Arch in the distance. Also visible from the beach is Oahu Island Seabird Sanctuary. Among the birds which are native to this island are the Kauaikia, the Iwa, the Noio, the Akikiki, and the Uaukani. Our next stop was the Baihi Falls. This 50-foot waterfall can be readily seen from the Hana Highway. We next drove a third of a mile to Wailua Falls.
Here's one of the nice waterfalls we found on this road going to the national park.
Wailua Falls gracefully cascade 80 feet through a lush setting just feet from the road. We then made our way to the main destination of the day, the Kīpahulu area of Haleakalā National Park. This was to see the Waimoku Falls as well as Ohio Gulch. Our first hike of the day would be the Pīpīwai Trail, going on to Waimoku Falls, the Bamboo Forest, and Waimoku Falls. This 3.4-mile out and back trail has an elevation gain of 1,017 feet. The start of the trail is a dirt path with stairs cut into it.
And here we are, starting up the trails to the waterfalls. The Pīpīwai Trail. We'll be at the falls at Waimoku in half a mile, and then Waimoku Falls 1.8. You can hear the water down below. Here's a nice little tree where we can get some shade for just a minute. Here's a steep cliff fatal drop. Not going to get too close, but yeah, that looks like a pretty good drop.
Many of the trees on the hike had interesting, gnarly textures.
It's another one of those steep drops. Some cool trees over here. The other side of the valley.
After hiking a half mile, we came to the Waimoku Falls lookout.
We're now half a mile on the trail, made to Waimoku Falls. Which is over there. It's kind of a trickle right now. I guess there hasn't been a lot of rain. We are in the drier season. So
Waimoku Falls is a 200-foot horsetail waterfall which eventually runs into the Ohio Gulch stream.
here's the lookout from that point. So again, this is about the half-mile mark of the trail. all uphill, of course.
We were hiking the trail during the dry season, and as a result, the waterfall was somewhat disappointing, but it is prone to sudden flooding. Here is a picture of the falls during rainy season. Here is a view of the opposite side of the valley from the same vantage point. Here's a tree with interesting bark. Maybe a rainbow eucalyptus tree? The next stop on the trail was the banyan tree.
Big banyan tree. Here's the big banyan tree on the trail.
I would like to also get a photo.
The Pīpīwai banyan tree is estimated to be over 100 years old, with branches that stretch over 60 feet long. Of course, Mary and I each had to have a picture taken of us next to this iconic banyan tree. Here's another magnificent tree we saw as we continued up the trail.
Oh, here's another cool looking tree on the path.
We then crossed the Pīpīwai stream over a pair of wooden bridges.
Here we come to the bridge. I don't know where that is with respect to the trail. But there is a waterfall here. It goes further on there.
There are a series of step waterfalls on this portion of the trail. At this point, we started to see some bamboo.
And now after that waterfall, the bridge is over here. We enter the bamboo forest portion of the hike. Showing that there's more falls here. Into there. And that's the falls that I took the picture of previously. Once again, here's from the top of those falls and down.
From the second bridge, we were able to see additional step falls upstream, as well as look back on the falls we had seen from the first bridge. After crossing the second bridge, we continued on towards the bamboo forest. After 1 mile on the trail, we came to the bamboo forest proper. The initial part of the trail through the bamboo forest was the usual dirt with occasional stone stairs.
Still walking through the bamboo forest.
Eventually we came to a boardwalk when the trail got wet and muddy.
Finally reached the boardwalk portion of the trail, and it's beginning to rain a little bit. Here's an interesting combination of trees in the bamboos.
Soon the trail began to follow a stream, which can get very dangerous when there's...
Ooh, did you look up?
No, oh yeah, so that must be the falls up there. Our first view of the falls.
Come over here and you'll see the candy tree.
Oh yeah.
With the end of the bamboo forest, we began to see our goal, Waimoku Falls. Finally, after a 2-mile hike, we reached the end of the trail. Here was the first vantage point for a view of the falls.
Here's a little one, and there's the big one. I'm going to go just a little bit further. Trail extends. I heard it's not really worth it, but we'll see.
To get to the final viewing point, we had to scramble over some rocks. The end of the trail, apparently you used to be able to go further, but after a couple deaths, they closed the trail off. There's apparently a pool below where you can see the water go into.
And here we are at Waimoku Falls in Haleakalā National Park. And here's the falls. It's about a 2-mile hike. I think it took us about an hour to get here.
Uphill,
All uphill,
over rocks.
in swamps.
And I'm going to sit on that rock.
Waimoku Falls is a 400-foot waterfall and is the second tallest waterfall in Hawaii after Kīpahulu Falls on the Big Island.
Here we are at the end of the line, hiking trail, and here's the payoff. It's about 2 miles uphill, and now we get to go 2 miles back down. Hopefully it'll be a little easier. It actually wasn't that bad of a trail. Not as hard as the canyon trail that we tried to do in Waimea State Park, the canyons. Apparently at one time you could go a little further, you could go down to the pool that it falls into, but they've changed it. So this is it.